If you're in the hospitality and tourism industry, you will face recovery situations no matter if you work at a hotel, restaurant, attraction, in retail, or elsewhere. Whether it's a pizza problem or something else, you can use the following tips to recover and even exceed expectations. Number 1, treat the emotion first. Acknowledge that they're upset. Say something helpful and lead the tone to a lower level. Be upset on their behalf. How can you do this easily and simply? Repeat back the upset guest's key words, the ones that they're probably repeating and or shouting. Which one of these is a good empathy response? Well, you just never know what can happen around here. Or, I know you're mad, but come on, can't you just ignore this? Or, I get it. You're unhappy, and I'd be concerned if something like this happened to me too. We will take care of this right away and make sure that you make your event on time. Well, what about A? That's not a good one because you're acting like it's no big deal, when clearly it's a huge deal to your customer. It makes it sound like you don't care and aren't going to resolve anything. How about B? I know you're mad, but come on. That's not the point. The point is that they felt anxious, and it has affected their experience negatively. Now, C is an empathetic statement. You're not solving anything, but you're letting that person know that you understand. And notice in C's response that there's empathy and a promise of action, which is what they said they wanted. By repeating that, they know that you 1, heard them, 2, identify with the situation, and 3, are taking them seriously. So remember, use an empathy statement that helps the person vent and lets them know that you heard them. Never argue with a guest. You could win the argument and lose the guest forever. Let's move on to tip number 2. Clarify what the customer wants and take action. Now that you understand using empathy and treating the emotion first, you need to move the situation along and give them something to think about. Using our previous example, a good response would be to calmly say, "It sounds like you want to make sure that something is done about the incident and it doesn't happen again. Is that right?" You can also try the "while I can't" formula. While I can't make up for your stress that this has created, I can make sure that we make this right. While I can't do X, I can do Y. There's also the bad news formula. While I can't make up the error, I can make sure that there will be no more mistakes. And here, insert any considerations that you can grant them. Bad news, but good news, and good news, and good news. Tip number 3, make amends. The definition for this is to compensate, as for an injury, loss, or insult. People can feel entitled to something when they feel that they've been treated unfairly or they feel that they've been treated poorly. If you do have the option to offer extra help or you know of a way to make this guest recognize that you've made an effort to make amends, now would be the time. If you don't have the options, check with the manager or follow established procedures. Going back to our example, a statement that could help you make amends could be, "I'd like to make it up to you by recommending a great place for you to check out while you're here in town." And finally, tip number 4, and we've mentioned this before, leave them feeling good. Experiences are all about how you make people feel. And if they feel good or great, they'll return and recommend. Use a statement like, "Thanks for coming in today. I know you had a bad thing happen, but I hope that we responded well enough for you to consider coming back. Enjoy the show." So now you see how a difficult situation can actually be turned around to exceed expectations and set things back on track for a great visit to your town. Just remember the 4 tips. Treat the emotion with empathy first. Clarify what the customer wants and take action. Make amends and leave them feeling good. See you next time.